So today we will be talking about split ends. Now a lot of you have been messaging me on how to deal with split ends, on how to get rid of split ends. For me, when it comes to split ends, I think prevention really is better than cure because most of you, I'm pretty sure, won't really like the cure. So I always get asked a lot on how to get rid of split ends. So my answer to that is you have to cut or trim your split ends. Now that is probably the answer that no one wants to hear, especially if you're growing out your hair long, and I completely understand and I respect you for that. The split ends actually has a tendency to move upwards, you know, and by the time you decide to cut your hair, you would cut a huge portion of it if you don't get rid of it. And you guys know me that I'm really all for growing healthy long hair and not just long hair. And yes, I'm also completely aware that there are some oils and some hair care products, or some hair masks that can temporarily seal your split ends, but that's only temporary. For me, it's very hard to maintain split ends because that is a very fragile hair. So, and even sometimes when you just brush your hair or when you style your hair, there's always a tendency that you can actually cause split ends on your hair. And also in my state of hair, some of you have been asking, do you get split ends? And the answer to that is yes. That's exactly why I trim my hair regularly, just because for that reason. If you are trying to grow out your hair, it won't be really necessary for you to, or it's not practical for you to trim your hair every single month. I do that because I'm already at a length to where I'm very satisfied with the length, so I'm just maintaining it, and keeping my ends healthy. But to some of you who are still growing out your hair long, what you can do is you can trim your hair every 6 to 8 weeks. So it really depends on you. You don't have to trim an inch or half an inch. You can even trim just 1/4 of an inch. And also when it comes to split ends, sometimes I know that probably the rest of your hair is just healthy, and then the split ends just probably, it's just randomly on the strands of your hair. So what I did back then is when I was trying to grow out my hair long and I had split ends on my hair, I just actually just snip and trim the parts of my hair to where it has split ends. So I didn't really get to cut much hair. And also when you trim your hair, it's also great to use a scissors that is actually meant really for the hair. Go for those sharp hair shears. Alright, now what I have here is the scissors right here, and this scissors is only meant for my hair. I don't cut this using random stuff. This scissors pertains just for my hair, just because I want to keep it sharp. So right now I am going to be giving you some tips on how to prevent split ends. So tip number 1, I really suggest switching to a detangling comb or a detangling brush every single time you brush out your hair. Some of you probably already have been doing this. These are absolutely great to use and to carry along with you anywhere, especially if you have long hair, because when your hair is long, you're actually just prone to tangles, and tangles sometimes can cause breakage, and breakage can eventually cause split ends. This is what I usually carry with me. I just really stopped using my regular comb. And number 2, avoid using very harsh chemicals in your hair. That would include hair dyes if you're coloring your hair constantly, if you're putting highlights on your hair, if you're perming your hair, or if you're having rebond. And if you really want those, I'm not saying that you can't do those things anymore. If you're ever rebonding your hair or perming your hair, if you're dyeing your hair, you're putting highlights, just make sure that you are conditioning your hair and make sure that you have a really good hair care routine, just because those things can really dry out your hair like anything, especially if you are bleaching your hair. Once your hair becomes dry, it becomes brittle, and when your hair is brittle, it's actually prone to just breakage. And there's also a huge potential that your hair can get split ends. Tip number 3. Now with me, I don't actually use a towel to dry out my hair. So what I do when I get out from the bathroom and when my hair is wet, I just usually squeeze out the water and then I let it air dry. I don't use the towel and just rub it on my hair because sometimes it can create friction. There's a tendency that your hair may become frizzy. Well, for me, it made my hair kind of frizzy. And the next tip is, I guess that you guys have probably heard this before, but avoid brushing your hair when it's wet, because when your hair is wet, it is in its fragile state. So with me, I personally do not brush my hair or even comb my hair when it's wet. I wait for it to dry and then I start to detangle my hair. Sometimes I do make an exception, especially if I'm hurrying, but I wait until that my hair is 80% dry or 75% dry, and then I would use my detangling comb or my wide tooth comb and I would brush through my hair. And also another tip, instead of using a blow dryer, you can actually let nature dry out your hair. You can air dry your hair, or you can actually use an electric fan if you are on a hurry. If you ever use a blow dryer, and you can actually put the blow dryer in the cool settings and dry your hair that way. And also what you can do is you can actually deep condition your ends once a week. If you have oily hair like me, when I deep condition my hair, I don't put it on my scalp. I just put it from here and down to the bottom ends of my hair. And also oils. I really have an oiling hair day to where I would just leave the oils in my hair. So basically what it does, it just, it softens your hair, it really improves the health of your hair, it can also moisturize your hair. So the oils that I would suggest are, you can actually use coconut oil, because I think the coconut oil is more accessible to everybody. I actually use almond oil for softening my hair. And for moisturizing, I use olive oil. Those oils are pretty much accessible, so those are the things that I would usually recommend to you guys. And also, if you guys want, I'm going to provide a link down below in all of my favorite hair oils for the hair. So the next one is, I really suggest using oil serums, those leave-in oil serums, or also you can go for a leave-on or a leave-in conditioner. Those are the types of things to where you can actually wear it on your hair all day. It basically just makes your hair more manageable. It keeps you away from tangles, it gives your hair a shiny texture, and it also makes your hair smell good all day. So once again, you guys, if you want to know my favorite leave-in conditioners or my favorite hair oil serums, I'm going to be linking that in the description box in this video so you guys can see my selections, the things, especially the things that I'm eyeing or the things that I really like. So the next one is avoid brushing your hair too much, because sometimes if we overbrush our hair, it can actually cause split ends. So when you brush your hair moderately. So the next tip is probably the advice that you guys have heard so many times from me, and that is to avoid using too much heat on your hair. Especially if your ends are damaged, it's best that you avoid heat on that area. Sometimes I think even with heat, with using heat protectants on your hair still experiences heat. So there's a tendency that your hair is really going to dry out. As I've said, when your hair is dry, it really is prone to split ends and to breakage. So I hope you guys liked this video and found this video helpful, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all on my next video. Bye!